3,000. 3,000 is the number of U.S. military deaths caused by suicide since the war began in 2001. 3,000 is a pretty big number. So I want you all to imagine a scene that we're pretty familiar with now, universities, as a matter of fact. This scene, this scene right here. Graduation, where thousands of firsties stream in, form a long blue line in their own right, and graduate. We're about to do that in a little over 200 days now. Now I want you to imagine that every single one of those cadets is gone. And realize that that's only accounts for a third of the military suicide since 2001. Sobering thought. And I think that Robinson, when she wrote Sparta, was really trying to address this issue of military suicides and how PTSD relates into that, and try to both raise public awareness on the issue and, even more importantly, public understanding. Because it's one thing to be aware that a problem exists, and it's another to really understand the problem. So she starts out by crafting this character of Conrad. And Conrad, of course, is a bright kid, and he decides to join the Marines to defend his country and his family. All very familiar themes that a lot of us can relate to. He gets deployed to Iraq, where he witnesses death for the first time, both of his unit and of other civilians and of the enemy. When he comes back, he's a changed person, just like thousands of other combat veterans are that came back and that suddenly don't fit into the society that they belong to at one point in time. They suffer from emotional instabilities, like Conrad did, bursts of anger or fear, and trying to just fit back into crowds, or trying to relate back to the parents or siblings, girlfriends they once had. And this is a huge issue with far-reaching effects. This weekend here is the conclusion of the Warrior Games. And you can go down to the athletic fields and you can see hundreds of wounded warriors competing. And they all have physical injuries, right? They all have something you can immediately see. You know, a prosthetic leg, maybe a missing hand, an eye patch or something. And I think that when she was writing Conrad, she tried to avoid these sort of physical injuries because they're relatable, right? How many people here in the audience have at one point broken a bone or had to wear a cast or something? Fair number? And so we can imagine what these things are like. And so the problem with relating to veterans most of the time is not the physical side, it's the mental side, it's the things they saw. During his suicide attempt, Ollie spoke to Conrad, and Conrad said that nobody understands what it's like. Nobody knows what I've been through. You know, I'm like a secret criminal is what he says. And so it's this problem of this isolation that these veterans have when they're trying to tell their story, and of war, and that nobody can relate to them. And so this is really the biggest problem they have trying to fit back in, is they feel that they're isolated. Nobody understands them. And so Robinson, when she was writing this, is trying to give us the tools so that we might understand these people that are coming back. She wrote this book in 2013, when the height of the drawdown in Iraq was happening. So you have thousands of combat veterans coming home, and she knew the historical context in which the United States was taking place. You know, a lot of times we don't particularly do the best job in looking after our military personnel after they've come back from war. And so she's trying to give us the tools. She's trying to make a relatable character that we can connect with and that we could hopefully use to help actual people so that we might be someone else's Ollie. So I want to leave you all with one last statistic, and that is that from the time you woke up this morning to the time of your last class, we'll probably be able to add another one to that suicide count. 3,001. Thank you.